Hi everyone! Today's video is going to be about setting up your character for the Shadowlands beta server. The video is going to be broken down into a couple different parts, starting with character creation. Also in this video, I'll talk about creating legendaries, setting up keystones, what you need to do with your covenant, and also how to unlock Torg'hast. Before we get started, I did want to add a disclaimer that a lot of things still haven't been added to the beta during the time I made this video, so I apologize if anything has changed. This video will also contain major spoilers, so please stop right here if you don't want to get spoiled. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, creating your character. As you get into the character selection screen, you'll see around the bottom left that there's a template character box. From here, you can either pick your starting covenant zone, the intro experience, or covenant choice, which lets you pick your covenant once you've created your character. The starting zones are based on the covenant, so Bastion is for the Kirin, Revendreth for Venthyr, Ardenweald for NIght Fae, and Maldrax is for Necrolords. If you pick a specific zone, just note that you won't be max level. However, if you are looking to create a level 60 right off the bat, you'll want to select Covenant Choice. After you've decided which template you want to go with, go ahead and press Create Character and it will take you to Character Creation. I'm going to go ahead and pick Covenant Choice for this video. From here, you can pick whatever you want to go. As you can see, everything is offered. Once you've picked your class and race, you can then customize your character. My default for this video will be Troll Druid. In the customization screen, there are a couple new options, but ultimately pick what you like, you can always change it later. And once you're done customizing, press the finish button and it will create your character. Press enter world whenever you're ready and it will take you to your respective starting zone. For level 60 characters, you start in Oberos. Once you're loaded in, pick up the quest from Talanara and she'll ask you to talk to all 4 Covenant representatives. They're found at the 4 corners of this starting room. Each Covenant will have their own card that will show you the special armor, and you can toggle the box to show the Covenant specific mount. It will also list out the 2 unique abilities you get with each Covenant. Once you've decided which Covenant you want to go with, head over to the map in front of Talanara, and from there you can pick your Covenant. Once you've done that, talk to Talanara once again to turn in the quest, and go talk to your Covenant's representative to get the starting quest line. So from here, I'm going to diverge a little bit and talk about everything that is offered in the starting area before we continue with the Covenant quest line. Exiting this room, there are a couple things I want to point out. The first thing is the test resource distributor that is right in front of the room as you walk out. The resources that this NPC provides are used for scouting maps, but we'll get to that later. There are a handful of these NPCs around in each zone, so keep your eyes out for them if you need the resources. Moving on, continuing to the left side, this NPC called the Rune Carbitor is who you talk to create legendaries. It'll queue you up for Torg'hast, but don't worry, this is just the NPC you have to talk to in order to craft legendaries. Accept the queue and it will take you to the legendary crafting room. Once you've loaded in, from here, talk to Runator or the Tauren, and you'll notice that you can buy a handful of things. For crafting legendaries, you'll need to buy a bag of Xinxinwong, legendary powers, your runes of choice, so you can have 2 unique ones per legendary, but we'll talk about that a little bit, and your legendary gear slot of choice. Once you've bought all of that, go ahead and exit the buy screen, open the currency bag, and learn the legendary powers. The bag contains the currency you'll need to create legendaries, and the legendary powers will teach you all the possible legendary traits you can pick for the armor. Talk to the rune carver or the big guy next to the Tauren, and he'll open a new window. From here, select your legendary gear of choice from your bags and put it in the center. Click the plus sign and it will show you all the different legendary traits you can create with that gear slot. The other 2 slots to the right are the stat runes that you can empower the legendary with. Unfortunately, you can't double up on the stat runes, they have to be unique. I do want to note that not all the legendaries are out at the moment, and each gear slot will have different or overlapping abilities with others. Once you've figured out which legendary trait you want, and you've inserted the runes, press create and there you have it. You can create as many legendaries as you want, but remember that you can only equip one. To exit this room, there's a portal you can click on which is located where you spawned in from, or it's right behind you. There are a couple other things you can explore around here, but I'm going to move on to how to set up keystones. From the Carbator, continue to the left and you'll see a glowing platform with an NPC to the left of it. This platform will take you upstairs where you can find the Keystone NPC and the Flight Master. Go towards the left, towards the Flight Master icon, and the Keystone vendor is right in front of the Flight Master. Talk to him and you'll see he has a bunch of different things for sale. Since you don't actually start with a keystone, the first thing you want to buy is a keystone container. From here, you can shop around and customize your keystone to however you want. You can pick the dungeon, the affixes, and the different levels. Once you've picked out what you want, open the keystone container and it'll give you a random keystone. As the default, it will start as a random +10 key. Take what you bought and apply it as you would an enchant on the keystone itself. Once you've created your desired keystone, all you have to do is fly to the respective dungeon location and start the key as you normally would. The game will actually scale you up to 170 or heroic eye level if you do decide to do a +10 key, so you don't actually have to worry about getting gear. That's all you really have to do in this area, but feel free to explore. However, the next thing on the list is breaking down what you have to do with your covenant. Go ahead and talk to the Flight Master to fly to your respective covenant quest location. So to break down covenants, each covenant has their own area, but they all have a scouting map and a forge of bonds for soulbinds. Depending on which covenant you decide to go with, the order in which you will get everything will vary. It will also depend on which class you decided to go with, because not everything is unlocked in beta. So for example, on druid, when you go NIght Fae, you don't automatically unlock both abilities when you get the first one. However, on a Windwalker monk, if you select NIght Fae, you actually unlock both whenever you get the first ability. I'm not sure why it's like that, but it is what it is, so just a disclaimer. So how do you get your 2 unique abilities? You either get them automatically once you've done a few quick quests around the Covenant area, or you'll have to do a longer quest line to get both. The next thing with Covenants is Soulbinds. So each Covenant has 3 unique Soulbinds. Think of this like a talent tree, but tethered to an NPC that you can recruit from your Covenant. You automatically get the first Soulbind, and you'll have to do a quick bonding ritual. From here, you can access the Forge of Bonds and pick whatever trait you want. Right now, certain classes don't have conduits to insert in the empty slots, but for the ones that do, you can actually find the conduit NPC right next to the forge to buy from. If the NPC doesn't have anything, then conduits are not available for your class. The Soulbinds offer different perks that you can choose from. You can only go down one path, so when it splits, you'll have to make a choice. However, once you have that set up, that's all you really need to do until you get the other 2 Soulbinds. You can unlock the other 2 by continuing your Covenant quest line. And the next thing is scouting maps. In order to send out troops, you'll need a currency that you either get from the quest giver or from the NPC we talked about earlier, the Test Resource Distributor. I'm not going to go too much in detail about scouting the maps, but starting your scouting map is part of the Covenant questline, which is why I'm bringing it up. So with Covenants, the most important thing to get from your Covenant are the 2 unique abilities. However, once you've gotten those, you can move on from the Covenant questline unless you want to unlock Torg'hast, which is the next thing I'm going to be talking about. For those who don't know what Torg'hast is, think of a roguelike experience in WoW. To unlock this, you will have to start your Covenant questline and pick up the quest Souls of the Dam. This will unlock the Maw, which is a new area that you get to from Obios. Since there's no layering in beta at the moment, I'd actually recommend turning on War mode if you're in a rush to unlock it, since a handful of people will be competing for the quest mobs. I know this sounds really scary, but most people will start with War mode off, so I found that this was actually the fastest way to get the quest mobs. I'm not going to go too in depth with how Torg'hast actually works, but basically to unlock it, you will have to continue your quest line until you can pick up Souls of the Dam quest, which then unlocks the Maw. So this very last part is extra, but if you guys enjoy using weak auras or having damage meters, I'll go ahead and list the links for you guys down below. A lot of weak auras aren't compatible with beta at the moment, so just be aware that you might get a lot of errors. And that's about it. There are a lot of things that I didn't mention or bring up in this video, but this was just my short guide on how to at least set up your character before you truly start to explore everything offered in beta. With this setup, you should be ready to do a Mythic Plus and at least start the Torg'hast storyline. If you have any comments or questions, please ask below and I'll do my best to answer. But that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and please hit the thumbs up or the subscribe button if you enjoyed it. But until next time, see you guys later.